we'll kind of run through it. We're live right now, though. I feel like I'm home. I'll just say that I feel like I'm home. We got MTK here. We missed him last week. We're home. What's
Yeah,
popping? What's popping?
I mean, it's interesting. I was going to tell you, it's funny when you watch like post reactions, like after Monday and then Tuesday and Wednesday. It's like, did we miss the boat? But we can still talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
I'm
know,
asking.
right? UFC 330, pretty much.
Yeah, because you covered a lot of it too, and but I mean, if the homies are down to listen, I'll give my reaction.
No, yeah, let's give the reaction. Let's share what I kind of have been saying about it, right?
Okay.
And then kind of get your take because I guess we can kind of build off it like that. Um I mean, I'll just kind of let's just like, we're a little bit late, sorry boys, so let's just get right into it. The UFC 330 Gary losing to Makhachev, it's kind of like it kind of I mean, I was rooting for Gary. I thought Gary had a valiant chance at winning. Actually thought he gave a valiant effort, unlike Dana. But Islam won, and it's not super surprising either. I thought that Ian actually fought like a great fight all the way through. I know, and like the fifth round coming along, Dana's narrative, like, he was too buddy buddy with Islam and this and that. Um, yes, but I think there's two things to be said about that. Just because he's buddy buddy doesn't mean that he can't lock in. And like that whole thing is totally insinuating that he wasn't locked in. And like he was locked in. I think Ian was locked in. He gave it his best effort. If it was me, I was proud of Ian's effort. I didn't sit, I'm super critical, right? I'm super critical. I was like, Ian, even in the third round, this is an example, right? Gets dropped in the second, third round, comes back, locks in, and wins it. He won the third round. And so I'm just giving you all these spitball ideas, but let me just finish with this one. Comes back in the third round and wins it. So obviously he's locked in. And I would say to the narrative that Ian being too buddy buddy means he's not locked in, right? And that's why he lost the fight. Actually, I feel like Ian does the buddy buddy thing to calm the nerves and to almost like it's like a game of war. Like, let me lull my opponent into this trap of like friendly nice game, and I'm boom gonna sleep him. I
But he
think,
didn't. But he didn't do that
but
though.
I know, but also hear me out. Here, I want to hear all your takes. So I
Yeah.
won't even respond to that. I'll let you go. But I'll just say too, I also scored it though, like 4-1 Makhachev. I thought that the only
I just
round
went back and watched it. Yeah.
I thought the only round Gary won was the third. A lot of people saying Gary won the fourth. According to the UFC rules, like I've watched enough UFC to know that that round's going to Makhachev. That's all I'm saying. It's not a personal pick. I'm just
You
saying,
know what's wild?
I wasn't surprised.
If we go back and look at the significant strikes in that fourth, I think they said Gary had like 40, and I was like, I just watched the fourth round right now. I was like, I didn't see Gary throw 40 punches in that round.
It's because okay, so here's what they are though, right? It's first off, Ian's defending takedowns the
Right.
whole fourth round. And while he's doing that, he's landing elbows on Islam on his ribs and shit. But you know that like when it comes to the UFC, man, you're not gonna win a round that way, especially when like Islam's your opponent. Like people don't think that doesn't play in, but yeah, that's what they count.
Punches. Just you said MTK want to cook Gary.
Yeah. So go ahead and cook Gary.
Right? It's
no, like I mean, it's interesting. And what up, Cut, Tony? What up, Jew? It's interesting because I listened to Brendan Schaub's podcast yesterday.
Yeah,
bro, he sold me. He so sold me, and on really two big ideas about Gary. One, like, what was the goal going into the fight? Was it to be a champion, or was it just not to get? Was it just to like have really good takedown defense and not get finished? Because if that was the goal, yeah, you won. But he another point that Brendan Schaub said is like, there are guys at an elite level that they are just killers, bro. They don't want to be your friend. They don't want, the only thing that they want is to win. That's it. The friendship, yeah, we could be friends afterwards. And I kind of agree with that. And he was using like, we could use all the greats, bro. Kobe ain't it, bro. Come on. Kobe's in their Mamba mentality. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Tom Brady, bro, killer mentality. We can go down the list. Jordan, um, there's just these greats, and for he may be good one day, but he won't. I don't think he'll ever be great. And that performance to me almost solidified that for me because I think he had a chance in that fifth round to say, nah, bro, like now watch, like he could have really turned it on, and he let that boat slip by.
Yeah, and I get it. I get that, right? But why criticize Gary for that? Like, is that insinuating that Islam was on the verge of getting finished going into the fifth? Because that is what Dana says, and I'm having a really hard time
I wouldn't.
understanding it. Because
I wouldn't
let's
go
say Ian didn't hug Islam, and let's say
right.
he won the fifth round, he still wouldn't have won the fight.
I agree with that.
And he
And,
was
and
also
so
grabbing Islam's ass the whole fight, and he was winning rounds and he was locked in. Like the fifth round was no different from the second, third, fourth. These rounds, he's all up in fucking Islam, you know,
and I
and
guess you're
he's stealing rounds, making it close, defending. So like, what is the significance of even that?
well. This is what I would think. To me, there was a gap there where it seemed like Ian could have had more strikes. He could have took more chances, but he was so like standing still because why? He was trying not to get taken down. He was trying not to have a lot of movement. He was trying to counter what he knew Islam was going to do, which was what? Take him down. And he figured if I could just stand still and stand tall, I can reduce that instead of taking more chances and trying to strike him and
Mm-hmm.
trying to get a knockout and really trying to go for the kill. I think he was too hesitant, but there's another word I want to use. I'll think of it, but he should have took more chances, and I think it would have paid off. I think it would have paid off if he took more chances because to me, it was almost like Islam. It seemed like a one-trick pony in that fight, and it seemed like if Gary just kept on more kicks, more punches, he may have done a lot more damage and won a lot more rounds. But it was too. I mean, after going, oh, would you say he won the third round? You thought?
For sure.
See, and I think a lot of people said that Gary won the fourth, and he could have been like 3-1 going into the fourth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or going to the fifth, and he lost the fifth. So, I mean,
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
I'll flip the script and say
Yeah,
it like this. Okay, yes, about Gary, but you know, it's like it's again going for it. Okay, I'll start it like this, and you know, it's like the narrative of going for it. In my opinion, you go for it against Islam, boom, you're taken down again. Boom, you're held up against this shit again. You know, it's like fucking ridiculous. And so if we could almost, it sounds pathetic, but it's like I almost want to explain the fact that like I think that's why Ian wasn't really quote unquote going for it. I don't think it's because he was being buddy buddy. If anything, the buddy buddy is to try to get himself comfortable, like this happy killer type of thing. But regardless of all of that, I still think that like he could take away the narratives, quote unquote, ask the question, why didn't Ian go for it? In my opinion, he didn't go for it because somebody just fucking pulled back that curtain and it distracted me. But in
it's the wind.
okay, in my opinion, Ian didn't go for it because Islam, the consequences are so dire. Even in the
Yeah,
third round where he won it, it was boring, but it had to be
it
boring because
was.
if he overextends himself, if he throws one strike he doesn't need to, one leg kick he doesn't need to, boom, you lose the whole round. And Islam is hugging you for 5 minutes. And it's like, even Dana admits to it. He goes, well, yeah, when Islam took him down in the fifth, you know, he's going to ride that out the whole round. And it's fine. You know, I guess with the body lock, you actually got the takedown, you took his back. But, bro, the first round in the fourth round are absolutely disgusting. And in my opinion, if you're going to talk shit on anybody, you know, it's Islam. I feel like Ian gave a valiant fucking effort, honestly. Honestly, I do. Islam, on the other hand, he's hugging him in the first round. And I'm getting shit on the live stream, and I did agree with it, where it's like, oh, this is his game plan. You know, he's trying to tire out Gary. You know, going into the later rounds, he's gonna tire him out. But then he does it in the fourth round too, and it's like, no, this is just a stalling tactic. And I
Yeah,
feel like where is the well, you know, you know, it was a dominant fight. You know, Islam won 4-1, but damn, is that boring? That's tough to watch, man. And then, you
Yeah.
know, how about like it was a pretty close fight. It probably would have been even closer if Herb Dean was separating the action sooner and not allowing it to just stall like that. I'm saying where he was hugging him against the cage in the first and the fourth round. Like Ian would have had so many more opportunities to win that fourth round actually win it if they would have separated that shit. But they didn't. You know, and like that affected Ian more than I think like hugging Islam losing him the fight. Like honestly. But
I would say
I'm like kind of like Islam super boring and Dana, why are you talking shit about Ian? Like what like of all people, like I'm just being real though. Like I sat back and I'm like, damn Islam, like shit, man. Like holy shit. And then I come on here and Dana's selling this narrative like it was 2-2 going into the fifth and Ian lost that fight for himself. It's like, bro, what are you on? Like, am I in like a time machine? Like, is this some propaganda machine going on? Like, it actually infuriates me sometimes, but I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I mean, there could be an argument saying that it could have been 2-2. Even Habib was yelling at Islam, you know, hey, it's 2-2. You have to win this fifth round. I like that Islam dug deep and was able to kind of, you know, be dominant in his fashion. But there was a couple things that there was takeaways for me. One, Ilya's stock grew for me after watching the Islam fight, and because of how deadly he is on with his hands.
Mhm.
Like I think if those body shots go to Islam the way he did Justin, that would be Ilya trying to finish Islam,
And
one
so
of the greats.
I
Right?
hear what you're trying to say. You're kind of agreeing with me, right? You're saying that
Dude,
like
well, yeah, I mean, I definitely
you
agree with
appreciate
the.
Ilya's fighting style more than
Oh yeah, yeah,
Islam's, right? Is
yeah.
that what
Because
kind of what you're trying to say?
yeah, because even when I was listening, watching a list of like all the greats, right? John Jones, Anderson Silva, um, GSP, you know, Islam, Habib, right? I mean, I don't know who's your top five, but let's just say those are the top five, right? And you take those like two or three, they're killers, they're finishers. Islam really doesn't have that. And when you watch Ilya, he's super exciting because he has that.
Yeah,
And
and Islam's fucking scary, dude.
and I guess this is what I was gonna say about Ian too. Ian, if you would look at his last five fights, he's always trying to just do enough to outbeat you.
I
And I
know
think,
people criticize Ian all the time for that. Um,
and that's his MO, right? I mean,
I guess
it is what
it never really bothered me, but maybe I'm just not seeing that because a lot
and
of
here,
people like Joaquin Buckley criticizes Ian for that.
bro, and I see it in every fight. We could say that he did that. He did, bro. Even the Carlos Freitas fight, he was smart, and that's the
But
thing
I
too. He's
loved the
super.
Carlos Freitas fight. I didn't
I
have
did
any
too.
complaints.
And remember how it ended? He almost lost that, right, in the
Yeah.
fifth. And but he was super technical. But even there's just a lot of fights we could watch, and it's like, oh, you just did enough just to win. Like that's great, but that's not like we're looking for like the Carlos Praises of the world that are finishers in the sport anyway. And I think that if
But then you take Islam.
and so these matchups, they were horrible for each other.
Two boring
That's what I
guys.
to their styles. One's gonna be a counter hesitant guy just to try to do enough to beat you, and the other guy is gonna try to take you down and hold you in that position. And so then we saw it match up, and it just and I agree with you. It was kind of boring on both sides. Like both sides was kind of like depleting. Like, oh, okay, Islam. I don't know if that puts you as the greatest of all time with a win like that.
Fuck
I
no,
did
man.
I did give him credit. I will say this. I did give him credit for the fact that what we saw is someone go up in weight and be able to do the win. Now, I don't think it's sustainable though.
And
I don't
not and it's like if you have to fight like that, bro, then we don't want to I don't want to do it. This is ridiculous.
and so imagine let's ask this. If Mosvar is fighting Alex, right?
Yeah.
If if Mosvar beats Alex, what are we gonna see in that division?
Same type of bullshit. So we got to be
Right.
praying. We got to be praying.
Right. We gotta be praying, right? And Mosvar doesn't he only fights once a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we gotta find a new wave of athlete that knows how to defeat that style and embarrasses them. and be like, nah, dog, we taking that out, bro. Like that's old, bro. We already know how to beat that. And I think Gary gave some good examples on how to turn that. I thought he did a great job. There was a few instances where he was able to turn it when I just saw the replay where he was able to get Habib's left shoulder out, and then he was able to spin back on top of him.
Yeah.
And reverse
Islam.
it. Right.
Yeah.
Reverse it. That's kind of one of the first times I've been able to see that happen. And more people, I mean, I would assume it's like anything, any sports. If you see someone else do it, you're going to like, hey, we got to add that too, especially the top elite guys.
Yeah, Peter
Especially
Yan
when
also showed a good game plan against Marab because
Merab.
Marab's one of the big wrestlers. The elbows to the forearm when they're
Right,
body
and
locking
so-
you against the cage. Ian didn't use that. He really
Right, and
should have.
There was a lot of different things I thought Ian could use, and he didn't. And I think that's why he's getting some criticism, because I think, and I think that killer instinct he's getting a lot of criticism, because it's like you're becoming two friends in there. You're trying to lecture everybody. You're trying to preach to everybody. Even after the fight, you're going up to Habib and saying something, bro. Habib's like, bro, get off me. You just lost, dog. Like,
Okay,
why
so
you?
let's speak about that because this
Yeah.
is my take, right? I think it is the thing I said earlier where he's trying to get comfortable and get like just lower the tension in his mind or something like that. It's a mind game, and I think he feels as if he can get the person to play into it with him, it's a win for him and it adds to his confidence. That's all I could say. Who knows about the real psychology behind it? I just feel like on paper, he's presenting something on the table and he wants you to take it, right? He's trying to be friendly to you and he wants you to be friendly back so that he feels as though like I made you do that action, right? That's number one. But number two, I think that Ian is so low-key egotistical to some extent. Maybe that's not the right word, but his ego can't handle losing. He's very, very tough about that. And I think that's his way of getting it back after these rounds and beforehand is, if you saw the compilation, he's smacking Islam on the butt after the round, rubbing him on the head, getting real close to him, talking to Habib. You notice Ian's always the one talking. Ian's never listening or asking questions. He's always like on you, presenting you. And I think Ian really like my biggest read on it, right? I'm just speaking for myself because I do think for myself. I don't just wait for Dana to fucking pop on the press conference and think nothing, right? I was watching the fight the whole time and I had a completely different thought than Dana. My thought was that Ian's ego it's tough for him, and he's trying to get these other wins outside of the actual fight because he's losing the fight. It's like when somebody this might be a bad example because 50% of people agree with me on this and 50% don't, but it's like, that passive aggressive type of thing.
Sure.
We do call Ian passive aggressive, but when people try to be like, "Hey bud," right? It's like,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
bud, like, I mean, I'm a grown ass man. Are you my bud? Like, why don't you call me
Right.
by my name or something like that, or something a bit more respectful? And I think that's the type of shit Ian tries to get over by like, rubbing Islam's head at the end of the round. He's trying to like his ego, and Ian is known for being passive aggressive. Take that Hamzat Chimaev thing where he was being passive aggressive there, and Hamzat fucking checked him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my real take. I don't think Ian like respects Islam too much. I think Ian's ego gets really hurt when he loses in the fight and he starts scrambling like a rat in a box, trying to get a win somehow, some way, trying to spin the narrative. Like, did you see how I got him there? That's my honest opinion.
And I would say this, like, and I hear what you're saying. It's one of those things, like, you ever been in a room with somebody and you're like, you leave it and it's like, who the fuck was that guy?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
what
Ian.
was he do? Yeah, exactly. And so I think you could do that in front, but I think behind the scenes, people have no respect for you, though.
Well, for
And
sure.
and
That's why he gets so heavily hated online.
and I think Brendan Shaw brought up another good point. It was like his circle is so small. Like sometimes you got to step out of just what your wife is saying.
Of course, I've been saying this too. It's like
You got to get another perspective. Like, when you're with the boys and like you just like and you're clowning each other.
yeah.
And like, bro, like he needs some of that. He needs someone to like kind of put him in check. Like, bro, what were you doing out there?
Yeah. I know. I
You know
completely
what I mean?
agree. I've been saying the
Like,
same thing.
it's almost like when you have an older brother or older cousin or someone in your family, your older uncle, they like kind of just put you in check. Like, bro, though, that is not the move, bro. Like moving forward, we're gonna go like this. And it was interesting. It's not like Gary hasn't done that before. It's not. Where's the Ian Garry of Jeff Neal? Where's the Ian Garry of Neil Magny?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where is the heel in him? You know what I mean? Like the vicious dude in him, making fun of people and not caring, and all this. It's like his whole persona has changed into this Mr. Nice Guy, and I want to be buddies with you, and I want to respect. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with being respectful. That's why I like MMA actually. But I think there's a time and place for everything. After you get a dub, after you get the dub, hey, good fight. Thank you. You know what I mean? Like after a war, right? You didn't most people, and I think this was another thing that left something in bad a taste in bad people, especially people when you see them when they get to that point, bro, they are crushed. They don't want to talk to nobody. They don't want to see nobody because that drives them so much, that loss, that like it just it's over. Where he had almost the opposite reaction. He was like, I'm just glad to be here. Hey, what's up with everybody? I feel good. And everybody's gonna cope with it differently. And I guess that's the way he's gonna cope up with it. I just think at that level, when you get to that place, there's a way that people go about it that people just aren't really used to this style or this way. I'm not used to this style or way at all. You know what I mean? And I think all the other antics, and it's even like with Michael Morales when he had that one-on-one with him. I don't think Michael Morales understood a word that he said. Maybe a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I think in the back of his mind is like, bro, if we get in the cage though, I'm handling you. Like I almost like I almost respect Gary for approaching him, but then he kept talking and preaching and lecturing. I'm like, bro, you could have had more impact with just talking for 20 to 30 seconds and saying, peace out, dog. Don't be doing that shit again.
Yeah.
Instead, what did he kept on saying? He kept on repeating everything. He kept on repeating everything. Then now you're making yourself almost look dumb. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
No,
Does
I
that
mean
make
I hear
sense?
you, but
Does
yeah,
that make
yeah,
sense?
yeah, yeah,
Does
yeah.
that make sense? Does that make sense? Like, bro,
That is
all
what he
right, now
said.
I'm gonna start saying that like Josh Hokum. Does that make sense? Can you hear me, Miami? Does that make sense?
Nah, Ian, yeah, he's very much like that. Although Michael Morales, with all the shit he talked, it kind of it was all right because Michael Morales talked a lot of shit about Ian behind the scenes, so Ian impressed him in person, you know.
And it's one of those
But
things too, like when you meet people that like know different languages.
mhm,
I've been around this where like I've been around Mexican dudes that know white dudes, right? And they're trying to like almost what word do I want to use? Big boy him, right? And then but it's like behind the scenes, like, bro, like, does he even know? Like, I just kind of smiled and looked at him. You know what I mean?
mhm.
And I kind of felt like Michael Morales had that attitude. Like, he just kind of smiled and looked at him, like, okay, okay, okay. Now, I love to see them fight, though, and I
I'd
would
like to
love
see
to
the fight
see,
too.
and I would love to see Ian Garry not be so cautious. I think that's why the Ilya and Justin fight, they
Mhm.
threw caution to the wind. Those were
Yeah.
just two fighters wanting to fight.
Well, you can
Well,
even take it a step lower, and you could say
what up,
like
Roro?
uh I guess you could say Josh Van, the way he fought Tatsuro Taira, he was less cautious. I just think
He was a
though,
dog.
but I just think that like Tatsuro Taira brought that fight too, and styles make
He
fights,
did.
and Islam is part of this shit recipe
I
with
agree.
Ian. So like that's the thing. I feel like Ian gets a lot of the blame, and actually nobody says anything about Islam. And that's the thing that bothers me, to be honest with you. That's the thing that bothers me. It's like I don't know why Ian's getting a lot of the blame. Like we got this champion who turned out his second boring fight in a row, and like Ian's not the champion, man. Like this guy,
No,
if this is my
but
take.
I
And
think
by the
I
way,
think
I am gonna get that call, so we got to
okay.
end the stream in like 5 minutes or so. Sorry, boys, for the late stream, but or for the quick stream. It's I'll try to go live a little bit later, but
And
we'll just talk for
and
now.
I know we're kind of going over some old news too. The other thing too we were talking about was the Gillian and Dean, right?
Yeah, you want to touch
Den.
on that? We got
Den.
5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it was what did you say he said he dropped something because he did it for the ratings?
let's put it like this. I'll give you the cliff notes and you want to tell me
Yeah.
everything. Yeah. So he basically, you know, he said what he said on the broadcast. The main thing on the broadcast that he said, nobody cares about him announcing his retirement. The problem is don't say that that's as far as Gillian can go.
Oh,
You know, and then I think that it's a big deal because it's like, bro, why don't you say that you've taken her as far as you
yeah.
can take her?
Yeah.
The problem is this guy's such an egotistical asshole that like he doesn't believe, get this, he doesn't, the reason why he doesn't say that is because he doesn't think anybody could take her further. He thinks
Mhm.
he's the shit, he's the best. You know,
Yeah.
that's why he says she's gone as far as she can go. I know it because I'm the all-knowing Dean Thomas, the best there is. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, he then never talks to her, right? All of Sunday. Monday, he goes on his podcast in the morning with, you know, Deepwater's podcast, issues the apology, still never speaks to her. You know, sends a message to her through the camera in the apology, then messages her later that evening, you know, apologizing or whatever. But through sources, you know, he got the message to her team that like he only apologized for ratings and TV purposes. He doesn't really mean it. So
Right.
Gillian basically doesn't forgive him. But it's just crazy that he issued that whole apology too, and he hadn't even spoken to her yet.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Like this
It
guy's
is
a
wild.
full-on asshole. And then in the
Yeah, that
apology, the main thing again, he's like, it was the wrong time to do it. I should have done it here. I feel disgusted with it. You know what he didn't acknowledge? The one thing everybody's mad about, the fact that he said that's as far as she can go. And I want to say it one
Oh,
more time. The reason why he's not taking it back and saying, I've taken her as far as she can go seek out better coaching. He doesn't think she can seek out better coaching. He doesn't think better coaching exists. He thinks he's the fucking shit.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was so many things out of pocket on that on everything he did. I mean, not to tell her face to face.
Mhm.
I mean, who does that? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of person are you to go do that and then to go broadcast it live on national television? Like, you don't tell the one person you tell, but let's go tell the world. And like you just said too, like the way that you word it, like, hey, she can't go anymore. That's as far as she could go. Like, whoa. And it's one thing to take that to say like, hey, we've gone as far as we can go. You know, and I maybe she needs someone else, right? I think Ariel had said something too, right? When he dropped his yesterday, like, hey, if this is as far as I can take you, like you just said, right? So I mean, just too many things like out of pocket. Like, homegirl don't deserve that, bro. And after a loss like that, man, your confidence already down.
And let's just keep it like
This is a person supposed to be in your corner. This person
right.
supposed to be there for you. It's been there for years. How?
He was
You know what?
checked out in the 5th round saying, don't give up on yourself. He was like mad at her for not performing that well.
And you know what? And then she wins the 5th round, right? And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, she lost the fight, but it's almost like you could still hang your head up high. You did win that 5th. And so she didn't get finished, you know what I mean? So I don't know, like super out of pocket. Like we know what I'm wondering. What does Sean Brady think? What does Joe Pfeiffer think? Who else is in their camp over there? There's another person in
He's
that
like
camp.
a solo guy. It's bullshit, bro. Like, I don't know, like the whole thing with
But
him and Joe Pfeiffer. He's not really with them.
Really? I mean,
I don't
but
know,
aren't they
in
in the
my
same
opinion.
gym?
Huh?
Aren't they in the same gym?
I don't know. Dean Thomas used to be ATT. Now he's a Philly guy. I mean, I don't know. I just genuinely don't know. People act like he's like a grassroots Philly guy. I don't even blame you for thinking that because people synonymously, you know, relate Dean Thomas to Sean Brady. But like,
Yeah.
bro, Dean Thomas used to be an ATT guy. I don't know
Hey,
how
who do you
long,
got?
how many years
Brady
he's
or
been bringing up.
Bonfim?
Well, fuck Brady, bro. I fucking dislike that guy. You know, I hope Bonfim
Oh, so
wins. I hope
you got
Bonfim
Bonfim.
knocks him out. To be
Hey,
honest
he
with you,
could.
I
He
hope he
could.
does. I think he
He
might.
could.
We're rooting
could.
Bonfim. Anyway, I mean the
That's
call
it?
hasn't came through yet, but I mean I might as well just be prepared so it's not a
MTK got the Perry haircut.
I know.
What up, Tony?
Excuse me.
These guys be cracking me up, bro.
Yeah, I had a hard out today, boys. The first time ever I have a hard out on a stream, so you guys got to bear with me. 2 streams yesterday.
Fine.
I brought you MTK today. Yeah, so
Putting a lot of work.
we've been putting in work. Maybe I'll do a stream this evening if there's some news, but it's also a slow news day. So
last question. Gregory Rodrigues or
Fluffy, bro. I don't think
Fluffy?
Rodriguez stands a chance. I think it would be funny to even think it's gonna be a competitive fight. I think this
Really?
worlds of levels. You know what I mean?
I want to say
Fluffy A
but
tier.
really? I want to
Gregory
say
like
Fluffy,
a B
but
tier.
see, Gregory can slow down after that third and fourth round, but those first and second, he's super deadly. He has some hands. Boy,
Yeah,
he has
I
some
think
hands.
overall, I think overall Fluffy got it, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good fight.
Gonna
There's
be a
a
good
lot,
fight.
actually, there's a lot of good fights on that card.
Mm-hmm. All right, boys. Well,
All right, doggies.
we'll catch up. We'll catch up next week a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'll go live later this evening. So we'll see, boys. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Like the stream on the way out. Peace out. Thanks for watching. We got MTK next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay, next Wednesday, MTK.